Back up. All right. Ready.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is a bonus episode this week. We have so much fun recording our second episode that we thought you would like to hear more of us because we'd like to talk more. So here we are. We're going to talk a little bit about social media and our thoughts on that. Are you glad social media existed now versus when we were younger?
Yeah, I am. If you guys don't know exactly who we are and how old we are, we're both in our early 30s. So the advent of social media, I mean, technically was around when we were in high school. But MySpace, I think there was like LiveJournal and different things that weren't really popular. But MySpace came out when we were later in high school. I didn't have one. Did you?
I didn't have one, and why I didn't have one is because I was convinced that I would be abducted if someone found me on the internet.
I mean, that was a big fear back then. A lot of people thought. That makes me think of like AOL chat rooms, like when I was in elementary school, and everybody said, "I'm from Florida. I'm from Florida," and it's like, you're not from Florida. You just didn't want these weirdos to find you.
Oh yeah, you're like.
It's how everything changed so much.
AOL chat rooms. I remember people be like, "Hey, ASL."
Yeah. And everything was a lie.
Yes, that's very true. Me and my friends used to go in those teen chat rooms, and we would send pictures. Do you remember the girl group Dream? That
Yes.
He Loves Me Not. He sang. Look them up if you've never heard of them. They have some good music.
Were they put together by P. Diddy or Puff Daddy?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
I know Danity Kane was.
Danity Kane, that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just old and proud.
But they had this girl, I think her name was Diana in the group, and she had this like long, like really pretty brown hair, and me and my friends would crop her photo and send those to people and say it was us.
That's funny.
Yeah, because we did, again, abduction.
Yeah, you don't want to get abducted.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I'm always, if you know me, you know I'm pretty different. I've always kind of went to the beat of my own drummer. I just felt it was uncool. That was my thing. I was like, it's just uncool. It's too much for me.
Yeah, even in college when like Facebook became like a thing, my freshman year, a lot of people would have it. And I remember there was this guy in my class, and he's like, "I'll look you up on Facebook," and I was like, "Cool, but I don't have Facebook." So I never really got into it probably until like I had one, but I never got into it till after college, to be honest.
I did get one as a freshman in college. Most people got them before college, and that's the thing. I did end up getting it because to really keep in touch with people, because they were like, "Oh, there's a group for our floor," and that's how you find out the information. So it was like almost like you had to have it. So I did end up getting it then. But so another thing to know about me personally, when I did eventually get my Facebook, is I have this thing, and maybe this makes me, bougie or whatever, but I don't like sharing photos that aren't professional. So I went a while without having a picture because I was like, well, I don't have a professional picture.
Funny you say that. So my first Facebook profile picture
was your senior picture.
It was my senior picture.
So that's because we're weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's because I'm like a perfectionist or something like that. Because I don't think I'm better than anybody, because I know people want to think that nowadays. But I just didn't want a non-professional picture taken, especially because cameras weren't how they are nowadays.
Yeah.
So I had no picture, and then I was like, I gotta have a picture. So I had one of my friends take a picture of me against one of those white dorm walls.
Okay.
Because I felt like it looked more legit.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know. It kind of looked like, and I'm not calling myself a model, but like how models have digitals, they have to stand against a white background. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking in my head, because that to me was a more legit picture than me standing with friends.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because I'm sick in the head, and that's just...
Yeah. Did you have a digital camera, like, where you took tons of photos?
Actually, I didn't, because I'm not if you've ever seen me take pictures, my hands don't work right. I have
you've seen my hands, so we know.
I have crab claws, and they don't push buttons right. I can't, neither of us, you have bad handwriting too.
Yeah.
We don't write like girls, like we I have crab claws. I can't do things with my hands.
Yeah, well, I love taking pictures, not even just of me. Like, I like to take pictures of my friends, and like I always had my digital camera with me. And I remember uploading so many photos like into my computer to load into a Facebook stupid album.
Yeah, everybody did those except me, of course. But yeah.
And kids these days don't know the pain of that, because you would have to go home after all night and you're like, oh, I want to get those pictures up, and it would take like 2 hours to load those stupid pictures.
That's crazy.
Now it's great with iPhones. You just upload like immediately. Yeah. And I used to be much worse about loading as I go. Like, I would never, now I try to enjoy the moments as I've gotten older, but when I was younger, I definitely would need to like post and upload like as soon as it happens. And so you would like look at my newsfeed on Facebook and it would be like 2 minutes here, next 2 minutes, next 2 minutes. And I feel like I was probably spamming people's like Facebook just because I felt like I needed people to know that I was at a Luke Bryan concert. Like, nobody cares.
That was at a time though where that's what a lot of people did. And I actually, again, I'm a really strange bird, but I didn't, because I didn't really like taking pictures. I did like experiencing things. I mean, and not to say that anybody else doesn't, but I do have a really good memory. So I can visualize, where I was at different points. So I just never felt the need to really take a lot of pictures. Unless something's hilarious and I gotta show people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm like, oh my God, you gotta see this lady's hair. I will take a picture then. But yeah, I'm not big on taking pictures.
Yeah. Do you think social media has really changed like society?
Oh, 1,000%. I think of, and it's funny that neither one of us did this, but like eyebrows, especially because like especially the 90s, early 2000s, women got their eyebrows waxed really thin.
Pretty much.
And I never did that. Everybody did, and people would ask me why I didn't, but I just thought it looked stupid. Because my understanding, maybe it was my mother told this to me, just my understanding of an eyebrow was the reason it was there was, and I'm not a doctor, but the reason I felt an eyebrow was there was to frame your eye. Mm-hmm. So I didn't think it was aesthetically a good idea to overpluck an eyebrow. So I never did for that reason. And you have your own eyebrow story.
Yeah, my eyebrows, not to toot my own horn, but they're pretty perfect. I was born with a natural shape. And true story, I got my eyebrows waxed for the first time when I was probably 12. And the girl told me that I had movie star eyebrows. And it has gone to my head since. And every time I get my eyebrows done, they always make a comment like, oh, your eyebrows are so perfect. And I'm like, thank you. And I leave there with a big head. And it's like, I should probably, I mean, it's fine. Like, it is whatever. But during the whole quarantine situation, I've never, ever touched my own eyebrows, just because I do have a natural shape, so I'm scared to, like, mess it up. So so I've never touched it. So I went, so March 3 months to June, where I had, like, Muppet eyebrows. Like, if the Muppets
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, if they were casting, I was getting the lead because it was bad.
Hey, some income.
I did, but I will say, I did give in and like pluck and shave the middle so I didn't have a unibrow because I had to, because I was like, okay, I'm growing a unibrow. But usually when I go in for my appointments, I'm usually in there for like 10 minutes, like to get thing. Yeah. I was in there in June for probably a half an hour. And I'm just like,
I'm out the chainsaw.
They're in there, got a lawnmower going through. It was bad. But yeah, no, I don't understand the eyebrow trend at all. I don't, even now, like I'll see people where it looks like they took one of those thick poster Sharpies and drew it across their face. Ones. Like, I don't get it.
And I think so to me, I think because so many girls jumped on that bandwagon because people do stuff just like, oh, somebody else is doing it, I have to do it. So I think people like me and you would still have autonomy because we kept our autonomy through that. But I think things caught on quicker with social media.
Yeah.
Things just had to, and by the time a trend gets to Pittsburgh without the internet, whew, that's like the difference between one of those like a Sonic jet and a lawnmower racing. Like, it's just, there's no comparison. So it's like you'd have something in New York City and then 2-3 years later it's in Pittsburgh. So by the time a trend would get to Pittsburgh, it would take forever. But I wasn't big jumping on trends because I thought a lot of stuff was corny. And I think I would keep that same kind of autonomy over myself and my decision making. But I think stuff would just happen way, way quicker.
I see. If social media was around when I was like in elementary, middle school, I think I would have been influenced over things.
Okay.
So I always had like fascinations for like celebrity gossip and like celebrity things. So I think if I was able to see more of like the day to day, like what these like influencers are doing now,
Yeah.
I might have turned out just a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely more of like a sheltered person, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word, but I don't put myself out there or anything. Like I'll put stuff on social media, but I don't like tag that I'm at Target right now so everybody knows.
Come get me.
Yeah, like because again,
rob my house.
I still have that fear of being abducted.
Yeah.
So, but I think like if I would have saw those things, I might have tried to be like an influencer and like
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think everybody wants to be an influencer today.
Well, I think one thing that is meritorious about it is there's money to be made.
Yep.
And I'm not going to clown anybody for trying to make money from their, I mean, that only makes sense. I do, I think there are things, because people are looking at themselves constantly, and there's a psychological thing about that. You're constantly looking at other people that you wouldn't. And that's going to affect you psychologically, and I think that probably is affecting like all kids now. That probably would have affected us in a way where it didn't. I know like we were talking about like pictures of us when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
See, with me personally though, I was really into fashion as a kid. I wanted to be 5'10" like Cindy Crawford, which I'm not. Huge Kate Moss fan, Naomi Campbell. So I was more hyper aware of my appearance than maybe your average, 10-year-old was at that point in time. But that was something I brought onto myself. It wasn't, so much the media. It was the media I paid attention to because I wanted to. And like, I'm looking at this picture right now and I'm so like orange tan. Like I look like Donald Trump.
Did you go tanning?
I started going into tanning beds when I was in 7th grade.
Okay. I did some tanning in my day, but I never turned orange because
you're way darker.
Yeah, so if you don't know us personally, blonde Nicole is very pale.
The palest person you've ever met, except that's not an albino.
Yeah, and then I just have like a natural olive complexion. But to me, like, I do have days where I'm like, I'm pale, and people will be like, what? But like, it just, I don't know, I think everybody has days they feel paler than usual.
Yeah.
So, but if you put us next to each other, you would obviously say I'm tan.
You would say, yeah, you're not pale.
Yeah.
You'd say, that's the pale one. Even when I'm like, yeah, I'm looking tan, everybody's like, no, you're not. And it's like, whatever. You don't know me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting, and it's something you really never know because everything affects every single person differently.
Yeah.
And it's just like bizarro world.
Yeah, I agree. We decided to pull some pictures. Like Nicole said, she was just looking at one of us when we were younger. And I'm cracking up at some of these thinking, I would never in my life post these pictures now. So we're going to describe some of these photos of us. And I can't believe I'm actually going to post some of these to our social media. So if you want to see these pictures, after this podcast airs, we're going to post these. So you'll have to follow us on Instagram at 2Nicoles1podcast to see these pictures. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I sent this to Nicole last night. I don't know, I wasn't there to see a reaction, but I was laughing out loud when I looked at it. So it was just, it's bad. So this is 8th grade me. So again, if you don't know me personally, you wouldn't know that I'm Italian, I have dark hair, my eyebrows are black, but I wanted to be blonde.
Yeah, which I have to laugh at that picture because if you knew us, I'm very light complected. I look very, very Western European, pale, I have light hair, blue eyes. And you wouldn't know that there was a point in time when I had darker hair than Nicole did.
So it's bad. And now, like, blondes, it's cool to be blonde for people who can pull that off, or that are blondes, because you've got that purple shampoo, and you can make it a pretty blonde. But when I was in 8th grade, that didn't exist. And I don't know if it was box dye or what it was, but I dyed my hair all bleach blonde, I guess, but it was more yellow, golden. I don't know what it is, but
I'll tell you what we call that color.
what is it?
Dehydrated pea.
Okay, so yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dehydrated pea.
I'm doing this weird pose with my hand under my chin.
Glamour shot.
Yeah, it was from Olin Mills. Olin Mills.
Is that Walmart or is that Sears?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know. I thought this was
That's like one of those photo places that's inside something else.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore because everybody uses their phone or
like
takes
a
pictures
professionals,
outside.
yeah.
Yeah, but it used to be like, it was Sears, Kmart, something.
Yeah.
Sears, Roebuck. Were you in the Roebuck?
No. No. Man, this is so bad. I will say my eyebrows do look nice in this photo because again,
but
perfect eyebrows.
wild contrast.
It's so bad. I'm gonna get all of the hate on this one. It's fine. Like, you guys can hate on this photo. I'm hating on this photo. I cannot believe. And the worst part is I thought I was cute in 8th grade. I was like, oh, this is so cute. I can pull off blonde hair.
Yeah.
I cannot pull off blonde hair. Oh my gosh. What's something of you that might have got posted back in the day?
This I just think is funny. So I danced when I was younger. And if you know me, you're like, Nicole, you're a real clod hopper. When were you dancing? But whatever, shut up. So this was a picture of me when I was in 7th grade for a dance. We danced to a Lion King song. And I'm wearing this full-length bodysuit, and it was snake print. And it's just pretty cool. It's pretty sick.
That's pretty sweet.
Like, my mom has it somewhere, I might just like wear it out one day.
You should wear that for Halloween.
Yeah. And I'll just hiss at people. Actually, sounds pretty ideal. If I could fit in that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Everybody watch out.
That's true.
At least hopefully it buttons in the back and I could put some kind of elastic on it or something.
You should look at that.
Because I was probably like 70 pounds here. Like, I was a pretty thin kid, but.
You should definitely bust that out.
I'm going to try.
You should do it.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, it'll look pretty cool.
Yeah. No, you were saying that you were definitely into like fashion even when you were younger. I never had the fashion like bug. Yeah. Never did. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the worst dresser, but I'm definitely not the best dresser. I'm plain. I'm very plain. I like black. I like gray. I like brown. Like, sometimes I wear color. And kids these days, like, they're in 5th grade and they're looking super cute. They know how to contour. They,
which is ridiculous.
Exactly. Everybody should have to go through an awkward phase, and It's not fair that these kids these days are not doing it. But anyways, so I have a photo of me from 5th grade, and this was my 5th grade picture, and it's ridiculous because I look like I just rolled out of bed. My hair is parted down the middle, slicked back, and I'm wearing a Jordan t-shirt.
And that's what's funny because, like, you were just being a kid, and like when I was that age, it was the same thing. My mom never let me wear a ponytail for picture day, I don't think, but it was.
I don't even know
like,
I knew it was picture day.
You didn't know it was picture day. But I mean, you were a kid and you were wearing kid clothes and you were like ready to play on the playground. It was probably gym day.
Probably.
And that's probably why you were dressed like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And because you cared more about that than how you looked in a picture.
True. Very true. I definitely didn't care. I think my 3rd grade photo is probably the best. My Tweety.
Bossy.
Yeah, I have a really cool Tweety sweatshirt, it looks like, and it says surf in the net, maybe? But
which is really comes around.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Eyebrows looking great there. I have the same dumb smirk that I have in every photo that I take.
Well, so I have this my 3rd grade picture here. A little bit of dirt on it for how it was stored, whatever. But I had this mousy little smile because I was shy. I'm generally an introvert, so that's me. And my hair was curled, and I was growing up my bangs at the time, so I had these.
I grew up my bangs in 3rd grade too.
Yeah,
that's why I had headbands.
Yep, it was big then. Yeah. So I had these clips, and then my hair was curled, and I was wearing this knitted polo. So
yeah,
just little cutie.
So it's just
cutie.
It's just funny to look at these photos because like anything now, like kids don't look like this. Even
No,
like
they don't.
people who post
Filtered,
picture
too.
of their children, their kids look cute, super cute. Like they're it's just I don't know.
Look like adults.
No, yeah, we just
Yeah, they don't
Crazy.
look like cute kids. They look like they want them to look like mini adults, which is weird.
Yeah, let them be children. Let them wear Tweety sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Like weird clips in their hair. Like, how are they going to build character?
Yeah.
You know, if your kid looks like a cool adult all the time, they're not going to have any character at all.
No, you shouldn't be contouring when you're 6.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say
and
that.
they don't look like their brothers torturing them all day. I mean,
yeah, that's
it's
how
awful.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But we're curious to know what you all think about social media and how it's changed society, and what would you look like? Okay.
Yeah, what would you
Best
look
thing
like
to do.
today if you were more under the influence of social media? Like if you're our age and you were born 10 years later, how do you think you would be different? Would you be a different person? Would you be an influencer? Would you be, a unicyclist? Or if you are, younger than us, if you're 22, how do you think you would have grown up differently if you were older? What if you were 42? What do you think would be different about you? Shoot us a comment or whatever on Instagram. On Insta, we are 2 Nicole's 1 podcast, and on Twitter, we're 2 Nick 1 podcast. We love chatting with you guys. I know we get a pretty good amount of correspondence on Twitter, so
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of followers there. So just let us know what you think and how you think you'd be different, because that's a real, that gets you in the mind.
Even if you have any of your old photos, if you're in the 30s age like we are, send us your old school photos.
Yeah, we want to see them.
Yeah, we want to see them. We'll share them because it's just crazy to see how different things are now than they were before.
Yeah, especially when when we were in around 6th grade, that's when a lot of kids got contacts,